So I'm just offering this little bit of a trigger warning. We're going to talk about, we're going to go back to that conversation between Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk. This part of the conversation involves his trans daughter. He says something, and it's, when I first heard him say it, and I watched this particular part of the interview 5, 6, 7 times, it was really mean. Man, it was really mean what he said. And I'm not going to repeat it in detail. Just Elon Musk has, one of his children is trans, and he's not happy about it. He's not at all happy about it. Very, 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 very angry about it. And it was on the last time I watched the video that's what I really began to notice. I was thinking about, should I talk about this? And should we do a talk about tolerance? And it was the last time I watched it, I was blessed that I was no longer hearing him being hateful and mean. I was able to hear his anger that he was directing at the world. Those, I would say the doctors and the people who he had to deal with when his child was transitioning. He was really, really, really angry with them. He was really, really angry with those who would hold those values, that transitioning is okay. And then as I sort of allowed myself to hear his anger, I heard his pain. I heard his pain. He's really deeply hurt by this. Now, I'm not going to say, this isn't one of those talks where, we need to empathize with everybody. We do need to empathize with everybody. And we can learn through empathizing with people. Me empathizing with Musk in this particular moment, I'm absolutely richer for it because I have a better understanding. And the thing is, change is always hard. Okay? Change is always hard. And a parent who has an expectation of a child, the child's going to grow up and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And my little girl will play with dolls and she'll want a pony and she'll want to brush her mom's hair. And my little boy, he'll play with worms and he'll get in mud baths and he'll want a horse, right? He'll want a motorbike. And so we have our children come along and we have very, very specific understandings and expectations of who they will be and how they will act. And we have very specific understandings of the milestones that they will encounter and have in their life. And some of them will be very generic. Graduation. I look forward to the day they graduate. But then marriage might be a little bit different. I look forward to walking her down the aisle. I look forward to pinning his boutonniere on his tuxedo. So parents end up with all these different expectations, and those expectations are usually, they're very much specific to the child we think they are. And when they grow up and they're not that person, but that hits hard, right? That hits hard. We have to let go. We have to let go of a dream. We have to let go of a hope. We have to let go of an expectation, perhaps even an entitlement. I'm entitled to my child growing up and being at least within this box, right? If not entitled to every detail, I'm entitled that they would at least fit within this box that I have learned about and I have decided that I'm going to accept. And so parents in these moments, they go through a lot. They do, without question, right? Without question, they go through a lot. And I've gone through this with my own kids, and I'm going through this with one of my kids right now. Nothing to this extreme, but I'm feeling pain because they're not interested in something that I love. The reason I'm feeling the pain is I really wanted to share this with them. And I really wanted to have that time with them doing this thing that I loved. Which ultimately comes back to I'm being a little bit selfish, aren't I? Best of intentions. Heart full of love. But I'm being a little bit selfish. Because I can still have that time with my kid. Just might not be doing what I want. It might be doing what they want. And that's where we come to in this little conversation of mine towards you. We as parents, we will feel grief. We as parents will feel grief. We'll feel anger. We'll feel sorrow. We will be hurt. We'll be angry at the world around us, whatever. But our child is the one that we're supposed to take care of. It's not our child's responsibility to be the person we think, we want, we expect them to be. It's our child's responsibility to grow up and be the person God created them to be. It's our responsibility to help them do that and guide them. And sure, you can share with them what you love, and you can share with them what you like, and you can share with them your dreams and your hopes, but you can't hold them to it. It'll ruin the relationship. We as parents, our responsibility is to take care of our kids. It's not our kids' responsibility to take care of us yet. Later on, they'll have that joy, I'm sure. But right now, when we're raising them, it's not our responsibility. It's not their responsibility to change so that we are happy. It's our responsibility to change so that they are healthy. When I was in seminary, taking a course on pastoral care, we were taught this technique. It's not really a technique. We were taught this term. And it basically comes down to when you're in a room, and in that room there's a whole bunch of people in need. You might look around and you say, okay, that's the mom. The mom is the one whose heart is breaking. But she might really, in that room, might not be the one that's genuinely the most in need. And I've seen this in different situations where I've gone in and let's say one of the parents was dying, actively dying, in the last couple of days of their life. And you think you're going in for pastoral care, well, I got to be there for them. It's crazy how often they don't need you. They're not the one who is most in need in that moment. It's somebody else. And, when we as parents, or we as friends, right? Because we do the same thing to our friends. Maybe ministers do it to their congregations. We do it with our employees. We do it with our bosses. We have all kinds of expectations of other people that we hold them to. Sometimes we don't even tell them we're holding them to these expectations, but we have all kinds of these expectations. The truth is, it's not up to the world to meet our expectations. It's up to us. And if our expectations are unwarranted, it's up to us to let them go. Because the pain we're going to feel, that grief, that sorrow, that pain that we're going to feel, it's not because the other person or some other people or a team of doctors or somebody like that has done something and that makes us angry because they've taken something from us. It's because that was an unfair expectation in the first place. Sometimes we have to let go of our expectation, embrace what is, and find the joy and the peace and the abundance in the moment that is actually present to us. as opposed to lashing out and lamenting that we didn't get the moment we wanted. And especially with parents, the most vulnerable person in the room is always going to be your kid. So if your kid comes home and you sit down and they tell you, hey, I'm not the way you hoped I would be. Hug them, love them, take care of them, tell them that they are exactly the person you want them to be. Amen.